pain, torture, brings back memories. The first years? Yeah, maybe. I was thinking President's Trophy, but nonetheless, the Sharks, we're this is live. We're not repeating anything. Blow a third period lead and lose the game in overtime. We'll break this one down and everything. Yay! On Teal Town After Dark. Good afternoon, everyone. It is December 21st, 2024, and the Sharks were 17 seconds away from a huge victory against Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. But alas, Sharks can't have nice things until the draft lottery. They lose 3-2 to the Edmonton Oilers. Welcome to this edition of Teal Town After Dark, your live interactive Sharks postgame. Do this after every game. Yes, we like to torment ourselves. So if you want to be part of our show, chat with us and fellow hockey fans all over the world, and especially in Sharks territory, on the YouTube page or the app. We also gift the games on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Threads. Of course, we're on all the social medias. And if you want to find everything for now, check out tealtownusa.com. And if you want to support the pod, please do so using Venmo at tealtownusa. Or if you're watching us live, hit us up with a super chat comment. And if you are not watching us live, leave a comment down below on what you thought of the game tonight or today, whatever it is, because I'm mad. Too mad. Speaking of mad, it's the angry Canadian robot Ian Reid.
Yep. That's who I am. That's what I am. I mean, let's go around the table, introduce everyone, and then I can yell at everyone.
Okay, cool. And joining us, future Barracuda defensive prospect, in case we run out of defensemen, Kevin Lacy is here. Kevin, long time no see. Good to see you, bud.
No. The Barracuda actually have a prospect pool now and a depth chart. So there is no need for a 41-year-old right shot defenseman, as the joke has continued year after year. So I'll be lucky to make Wichita at this point, folks. A couple of the defensemen on the Sharks deserve to go play in Wichita after that performance today. But as this is my first show of the entire season, I'm very happy to be here and dive into this, because what a performance by Yaroslav Askarov today.
Okay, wait, Kevin, I need you to help me with something here. Why have we all turned on Philip Easted suddenly?
I don't know, because maybe he hasn't scored in like 3 games or something. I don't know. But if you don't know what we're talking about, some folks in the Discord chat, which you are welcome to join at any point here with Teal Town USA, are no longer happy with Philip Easted because he can't shoot or pass with accuracy, which has always been his problem. So I don't know why this is suddenly coming out now. Anyway.
Okay. So I just need to know, because gotcha. I haven't I've watched the Barracuda games, and I'm like, we'll get to this game. I promise. Michael threw out the whole
diving right into the Barracuda show, folks.
Welcome to the 6-hour pre-game show for the Barracuda right here on Teal Town USA.
This is Molasses' fault. I've seen it, and I've been watching the games, and I'm like, I don't understand why we're so mad at Philip Easted suddenly. All right.
You know who we should be mad at? Will Smith, but we'll get to that later. We'll get to that one later. Who we should not be mad at? Yaroslav Askarov.
No, shouldn't. And like Ramon was saying earlier, the Sharks owe Askarov a steak dinner. Yeah. I kind of agree. Saying yet another 1-goal game, but again. Speaking again, Big Bird, gotta love this Russian kid, amazing netminder. Definitely entertainer. Second period. Now it seems third when we ran out of gas. Yeah. And Tyler James, I'm prepping Ian here. Is anyone else super tilted on how we lost today?
Yeah. So right before the show, I asked how are we feeling, and outside of the game, and Ian said, I was fine until the end of the game. So and he said I shouldn't be mad, and I said you should be mad. I think the Sharks fans should be mad about how this game went, because Yaroslav Askarov got hung out to dry by the defense and everyone else on the team, in my opinion. What about you, Ian?
Look at Askarov was fine. I know the talk of this game is going to be that they blew another third period lead and blah 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 blah. But that's not that's a story, but it's not really. It shouldn't be this story, because they shouldn't have been leading to begin with in the third period.
Sure.
Right? If you watch that second period, Askarov did everything he possibly could to give the team a chance to win, and it was refreshing, because I think that was probably the best goaltending performance I've seen from a Sharks goalie since Blackwood went to Colorado. I think the goaltending's been fine since then, but it was actually good tonight instead of just fine or adequate, or which is I think what they've gotten from Vanacek and what's his name? What's his new guy?
Georgiev?
Yes, Georgiev. I don't like him so much I forgot his fucking name. I don't know. I just and yet, and even knowing that, I'm angry for Askarov, because he deserved the outcome. The team didn't. The team was ass tonight. I don't feel bad that the Sharks lost for the Sharks. They deserve to lose 100%. But I don't know. I feel bad for Askarov. Askarov deserved to win this game. He was the only reason the Sharks were competitive in this game.
Yeah, completely. Especially in that second period where the Sharks allowed 23 shots on goal, and somehow through 60 minutes and a few seconds, frustrated the living crap out of Zach Hyman, Leon Draisaitl, and everybody. I mean, it just was guys, you're right there. You're frustrating them. And it's you knew it was coming. So let's rewind back and take on this monstrosity. The Shark.
Hey, Puck Guy, can you save Ruben's comment for when we do get to the second period? Because I think it's a really great point, but I want to build off of that. So
which one are you looking at?
The one the very most recent comment that was in our chat.
I got it.
You start. Okay, cool. Thank you, good sir. Appreciate it. Sharks, of course, made history with the blowing 3 straight third period leads at home. Edmonton started off slow, not last year slow, but they're starting to find their stride. They're third in Pacific, first meeting of the year, and it seemed like things not too bad. I don't know if Edmonton's thought, early start, we'll play like the Sharks in years past. Cunnin with his 9th goal of the year, the greatest Shark player ever. Luke Cunnin plays the game the right way, gets things going. But Kevin, I'll say nice pass from Alexander Wenberg to set that play up to get things going to make it 1-0.
Yeah, it can't always be the star players here with the Sharks. They as we saw today, the offense needs to come from anywhere, because when you only have the puck for 45 seconds out of a 60-minute hockey game, you hope Luke Cunnin's going to bury that one. So, yeah, it was a good play by Wenberg. And, he'll come into play towards the end of the game that causes the Oilers goal. But for the start of the game, though, it was a good start right out of the gate. The Sharks are up 1-0, and it almost felt like, for me anyway, okay, there's still 56 minutes left in this game. How are the Sharks going to hang on to this? Because I was one of the people in Discord who predicted the Sharks to fall 4-1. I don't know if anyone in our Discord channel predicted the Sharks to win. Ultimately, I guess we were all correct, but we were 18 seconds away from all being wrong somehow.
Yeah.
But yeah, good start for the Sharks. Those are the types of moments, though, that you want the team to build on, not just fall back and hope for the best.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Look, Luke Cunning's not my favorite guy, but let's give him cookies when he does something good.
I think he's serviceable. I didn't like the trade, but I think he's.
Oh, I agree, man. But I just think like there's certain people, like there's just certain guys on this, like, and I get why they're not beloved Sharks players, but it's just like, oh well, he only did that because like X, Y, Z, and it's like, or maybe he just made a good play. Like that could be an answer too. I don't know, man. Like this,
Yeah,
this fucking fan base.
But here's the thing, we can't figure it out. It's like, yay, we won a few games, and then we have, oh no, boo, fart, avocado. We can't win these games. No, we need a tank. And then there's these guys like, oh my God, here we go again.
All I will say, and I don't even think I got to say this last season since I haven't been on very many shows. My fault, folks. But the difference between last season and this season's teams, there's a stark difference. And last season's team was just a chore to watch. And this season's Sharks team, they're not going to win most of the games. And there are going to be nights where they look pretty bad. But there are like today, for example. But this team is still night and day, way more entertaining to watch. And
100%.
And with, if I assume we're going to be seeing more starts out of Yaroslav Askarov with the Sharks. So just another player to be excited about and enjoy watching as he builds his stock in the NHL.
Ryan needs me to go a whole episode without using the word fine. Mediocre is like 3 syllables. Fine's 1.
Oh, I mean, he used to say so many times. I think there was like
I still do that, I'm sure.
Sure, but I mean, it's not as noticeable as it once was. I think there was like an episode of Teal Tinted Glasses.
You guys want to do a drinking game with the Ian's and me's butt, because we'll all be smashed by 4 p.m. Pacific,
which is 10 minutes from now. Yes. Yeah. It'd be like Randy and Brody coming back to say Desert Dogs, and there's a franchise in Arizona. Excuse me.
Now I remember why I haven't been on the show.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Good times.
Later in the first, Edmonton would tie it up because, it's Edmonton. Zach Hyman with his 12th of the season. McDavid, just skating around, waiting for something to happen. And all the Sharks are like, ooh, look at McDavid. Oh, crap. Who left Hyman open there to tie it up? And then, a minute, like not even a minute and 15 seconds later, that classic goal scorer from the blue line, Jan Ruda.
Wow.
And
I think Calvin Pickard blinked too when that shot went in.
Yeah.
I had to I was baffled. I was baffled at who scored and how shot
went in. Yeah.
Happy for Jan Ruta. His trade stock has never been higher than it was 2 hours ago. So get it done, Mike Greer.
Going back to the Hyman goal though, like yes. I think that I don't think Askarov had a chance on that. Not only because it was like a nice bang bang play, but I think Ferraro tipped that in.
Oh, I didn't actually catch that. So that's very well possible. Really? I do recall later in that period.
I think he tried to poke check, and I think he kind of got his stick out, and I think it went off the blade and
very
up
well.
Over. I'd have to watch it again, but that's what I feel like. So
very well possible. But what I did like was that either the next shift or the shift after that, the Oilers made the same exact play, and Askarov got over and made the save. Now, maybe because Ferraro's stick wasn't in the way on that one. I don't know. I didn't catch that. So good pull by you if that is the case. Ricky, I'm going to get to that question.
Oh boy!
You can add all the star. Okay,
yeah, we got it. Jesse L saying Ruda untradeable to future consideration.
Hey, we can take Vincent Praplin back. It's okay.
There you go. Ingo, I think checking in from from Germany, or maybe not many shots from Edmonton, but I think it was a good game from the Sharks. No happy ending. Yeah, no, even though this is after dark. The German commentators praised the Sharks and Askarov on there.
Vielen Dank, Ingo.
Yeah. Though it sucks if Vanacek is hurt, this is Askarov's time to shine, to prove to GM Mike Greer and Warsaw that he deserves a spot on this team. And after what we saw from him today, there needs to be talks about it. Yep, I completely agree, guys. I mean,
let's talk about Askarov, because I felt like I saw the entire Barracuda season in this game, watching him play. Because
where's John McCarthy?
After watching him time and time again this season, and I know Ian has as well, Askarov, he maintains really solid positioning 95% of the time, and then that 5%, like the tying goal, he was way overcommitted. I know they were under siege, but he was way overcommitted and then couldn't push off to get back. And there was another play in the second period where he got caught way out of the net down low, and somehow the puck went through the crease and out the other side. I think that might have been one of Draisaitl's misses. But yeah, Askarov is really good at holding that positioning most of the time. He's pretty good handling the puck and patient, sometimes a little too patient, a little too calm, like when he tried to deke through somebody at the side of his own net, which drove you nuts,
like for him, like I think he's like, again, I think that there is a potential franchise goalie here, but he just needs to stop trying to play the puck.
Yeah. And one of my concerns about him was towards the just a couple of games ago when the Barracuda lost in shootout. It was like the 12-round shootout to whoever it was. And by the time they got to round 9, Askarov looked bored. He looked like, you know what? I don't really care at this point. It's bad to say it's the AHL, but he kind of just seemed like, I'm just going to come out and do whatever and keep myself entertained.
Right.
I feel like he gets like that with the puck too, where, I mean, he is a phenomenal goalie for handling the puck. I'll trust him 100 times over Alex Stalock with the puck, and certainly 1,000,000 times over Antti Niemi with the puck.
Sure.
But he gets on these little ventures where he goes, you know what? My defense can't break the puck out. Let me see if I can get around these two guys. Oh, no, don't do that, buddy. Just don't.
Kevin, question for you. Askarov's
it was against the goals.
Oh, okay. Askarov's puck playing abilities or Urbe's?
Man, Urbe was so long ago that I remember obviously Arturs Urbe, but I'm going
Arturs Urbe,
because
yeah, Arturs Urbe playing the puck was a bad thing. It was
okay. I thought so, but man,
it was
30 years, man.
to steal, I mean, the position has changed so much since then too. Like,
big
but
time.
like, yeah, it was Alex Stalock times 1,000,000.
Yeah.
Can
the thing about Alex Stalock was he could handle the puck. He just had no wherewithal on when to do it. So it'd be like, no, not now. They got 3 forwards skating at you. Like,
yeah, or he had his thing where he had his move where he just kind of flipped the puck up and then try and like cricket it out.
Yeah,
and then he got killed. It was like, I think against the Wild, where like someone had seen him do it one too many times and he got just nailed. And I think it was against the Wild. I don't remember who hit him, but I was like, yeah, that I saw that coming.
I do want to give a shout out to William Eklund though, near the end of the second period on this play.
Yeah,
because that's a slam dunk tying goal here. I mean, you have that breakup from Eklund there with Nugent Hopkins just ready to
hold that.
Stop it. Yeah, I mean, it's just like
hold. He didn't hold it.
Where do you want me to hold it?
I wanted you to hold it right where it was frozen, but now it's too far. There, that's close enough.
Okay.
you're about 2 frames away from seeing all 5 Sharks in that position with 3 Oilers. And this was my problem with the Sharks' second period, is that the Sharks carried both defensemen right on the edge of the crease. And then the other 3 forwards were kind of just chasing around. I was really happy with Askarov coming in and just holding his ground and not feeling the pressure to stay deep in the crease just because the defensemen were there. The defensemen have got to do a better job of pushing players out. And yeah, the Oilers' offense is ferocious. But if they get around the forwards at the point, then so be it. But you have to stand your ground at some point. You can't play overly patient. We have a goalie in net. We don't need 2 more. So in this particular play, it's Wallman and Ceci. But I felt like Ferraro and Liljegren spent the entire period trying to be goalies instead of defensemen, and it was driving me insane. So hats off to Yaroslav in that second period, making the 23 saves, because the defense was about as bad as I've seen the entire season.
Yeah, you know what though? But I like that you highlighted the William Eklund play there, because I think William Eklund, the guy, and I keep saying this over and over again, but I love how his game has continued to develop. This is a guy who, when he came in the league, he's too soft on the puck. Oh, and like now he's ferocious on the puck. Like he is tenacious forechecker. I think sometimes he gets like I think sometimes he gets himself into situations where he's not big enough to do some of the things he tries to do, but I give him credit for trying to do it, because I mean, that was the knock on his, like, oh, he's too soft. He can't play physical enough, and just the way his game's developed. And I still think, like, I don't know, he could top out at like 80 points this year, I think. I mean, he'd have to get back on his horse a little bit, but
on Celebrini's line.
Back on, or the or the Lund line needs to get crack-a-lacking again. But I like, he's a guy who I think could easily, as his game progresses, like, he's going to be an easy 80-point guy.
The Lund line was fun today, guys, but one thing that I noticed was that the Lund line was constantly out physically matched by anyone on the Oilers roster, basically. Obviously, we know that they're there to be quick, speedy, mostly offensive forwards. They have, all 3 of them have defensive capability, but the Oilers were so much bigger than all 3 of those players, and I do think it showed today. But like what you just showed with Eklund there, you find a way to contribute.
Yep.
He's got the dog in him. And you're not going to win every battle, but you gotta compete every shift, nevertheless. And so that was a great job by Eklund, namely because what I mentioned earlier, defense is way too far back and not in good position. So Eklund covered for them on that and bailed them out. So great job by William Eklund.
Yeah, that kept it within 2-1 after 40 minutes. Third period, I mean, it wasn't a crazy, out shooting period. I mean, it wasn't like 23-7 like it was for the second. It was only like 11-8. But of course, unfortunately for the Sharks, they just couldn't keep him in too much longer. Matthias Ekholm at 1942 ties it up. McJesus and Corey freaking Perry.
That up
with the assist to tie it up to get this one in overtime. I've always liked Ekholm's game, but man, after everything that Askarov did for this team tonight or today, that's just frustrating.
Yeah, I don't like, and I'm mad at like how it happened, but at the same time, it's like, it's the Sharks need to clear the zone. Like Askarov was in a shooting gallery. I mean, the second period was worse than the third, but as the game progressed in the third, like the Sharks had no answer in the defensive zone for the Oilers at all. And like, as much as like I want to be mad, like I'm mad for Askarov, I'm not mad for the team.
Right.
They deserve to lose this fucking game. Like, I can't say this enough. Like, and as much as like, yes, I know like the late game collapses are getting a little old, but I just like this. They collapsed in the second period. They just didn't know it yet until the third, until the last minute of the third. Like, the collapse had already happened.
I would have liked for the Sharks to come out better in the third rather than just be a continuation of the second. Now, about the middle of the third period, the Sharks did start to generate some offense and have a little bit of pushback instead of defending the whole way through. But to come out in the third period and play the exact same game as what you barely survived in the second, that was a bit on the frustrating side. I know that, so Hot Wheels in the chat earlier mentioned some of the lazy clearing attempts. I didn't think what Venberg's clear was lazy. He went to clear the puck and Granlund was standing right in front of him. He would have hit him right in the calf if he didn't be forced to make the extra move, which then resulted in him turning the puck over. That's unfortunate circumstance with defending there when you're just under siege trying to block any shot possible. So yeah, that was a bummer there, but still, for Draisaitl to miss that one, like when Draisaitl received that pass, I let out the biggest groan until I realized Draisaitl let out an even bigger groan.
Yeah,
that we could hear all the way from Edmonton, and I was like, "Oh my god, he did not score that! How did he not score that?" Patrick Stefan all over again. But nevertheless, the Oilers did tie that game up. And again, I thought Askarov, that was one of the 2 times in this game that he did completely lose his positioning. But that's not why he got scored or why he got scored on. The Sharks just needed to
you could only do so much. Like it wasn't like you can't fault Askarov for that goal. He did everything.
No, not at all.
I mean, like, you're a defenseman. How many shots is the goalie responsible for, Kevin?
I would say 100%.
No, but how many? Like, it's the first one, right? And then at that, then it's your job.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like, you're as the goalie, you're responsible for the first shot, and that's your defenseman's responsibility.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't understand. Yes, you're right. Absolutely. In fact, as a defenseman, it drives me insane when goalies say, "I want you to take the shooter instead of the pass."
Right.
It's your job.
Your
You're a goalie. Head the goal. Hate that.
So, like, you know what I mean? So, like you can't fault Askarov there. I mean, besides the fact that he was the only reason that the Sharks were in this game to begin with. Like, again, he made save after save after save, but the Sharks didn't do their end. The skaters didn't do their part of the bargain. They didn't get rid of the puck. They didn't either skate it out, clear it out, whatever. I don't know what else he was supposed to do in that situation.
Puck guy, did you someone in the chat, I think it was Ruben earlier, was talking about McDavid skating circles around the Sharks today, and I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, he did. I mean, but to say it simply as that, I don't think I can agree with that, because we know McDavid's the best player in the world. He's clearly the fastest player out there. And the Sharks are not that mobile on the back end. So I was okay with them staving off. Like, I know I complained about them being too passive, but like when it came to McDavid rushing in, I was okay with them taking the extra couple steps back and allowing him space before closing in on him. So yeah, he did get the pass to Hyman and the pass to Ekholm there, I think, right? So at least he got the pass to Draisaitl that Draisaitl missed. But in all those plays, though, the Sharks were with him. I didn't feel like they were chasing him. They were trying. They
were watching him.
They were watching him. But
on that first goal, sorry, Ian, on that first goal, they were watching him. And then I noticed later in the game, they were playing. It almost looked like man coverage, right, Eden? Where they were kind of like staying with all of them rather than kind of playing in a particular zone area where everything. But I mean, and Ruben saying, "Asky play lights out, but let's not pretend McDavid and company didn't skate circles around this team." Celebrini turned it over. with the attempted scoring chance and everything. Yeah, it's frustrating, because you see it and they hang in there, and then next thing you know, it's just it's just
Askarov hung
upsetting.
in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, that's why I'm not mad. Like, again, I'm not mad for the team. I don't think the team deserved to win today.
No,
I think Askarov deserved to win.
you were hoping after that, what was it? Was it 15 years ago with that Ben Scrivens 59 save performance,
Yes.
where you can kind of revenge the getting goalied up in Edmonton, but it's like, man. And Ruben also saying Celebrini snapped his stick in half in the tunnel on the way to the dressing room.
You know what? Obviously, Celebrini losing the puck led to the transition on the Oilers' goal. Celebrini can learn from that.
Yeah.
One of the things we always hear about with the young players playing their first year pro is, and since you guys have already sworn, I'm going to use it. That shit don't fly in the NHL. That shit don't fly in the pro game. So he tried to do his little behind the back move, which is cool. And, there's a time and place for it. Maybe that was the place, but not the time. But obviously that risky move led to the turnover, that the puck went the other way and the Oilers won the game in overtime. So Celebrini can go, you know what? Maybe I could have done something better next time with that, which is something that I really want Will Smith to figure out.
Oh, I think Lacy's trying to do a segue here, Ian, and I'll go with Ricky's comment and saying, Lacy, what do you think of Smith being demoted all the way down to a fourth line winger?
So why are we surprised by this, guys? Like, what has Will Smith done to deserve anything other than that? I took a lot of ridicule in the summer when Will Smith signed with the Sharks, and I said, that kid should still be in Boston College because what has he proven? And folks were saying, oh, he put up all these points and he was dominant in college. No, his line was dominant. He was playing with Ryan Leonard and Gabriel Perreault, who are both just beasting in Hockey East this year. Without Will Smith, they're doing just fine. Were they carrying Will Smith? I wanted Will Smith to show, yes, I can go and do it on my own, or have another season of growth and confidence before becoming an NHLer, because there were a lot of, I can't believe you just focused this on me alone. but for real here, Will Smith has a lot of holes in his game, and I wanted him to show some more. He's still young. He's got time. The team, as we see, is still a bottom 3 team in the NHL. Celebrini was the best player in college last year. Will Smith was not. Will Smith can't hold a candle to Macklin Celebrini last year or this year. Down the road, Will Smith still has a lot of potential. This is why he was such a high draft pick. But man, yes, he's eligible for the AHL. He turns the puck over way too much. This is why he's on the fourth line. He has no hockey sense whatsoever. He knows how to shoot, but he coughs the puck. He's a turnover machine. He's completely a liability out in the offensive zone and the defensive zone. He doesn't back check to save his life. So what are we doing here with Will Smith? How is he NHL ready? Yes, he's AHL eligible. And that was the argument. Well, the Sharks could send him down to the AHL. And what I said in the summer was, if he's playing in the AHL, then there are bigger problems here. He should have stayed in college rather than be in the AHL. We're at the point now where Will Smith should, in my opinion, be sent to the Barracuda, where he probably will do a lot better. I think it would serve him well long-term, because he's not in college at this point. He's not playing at the level that he is able to play at right now. I don't see an NHLer here at this moment. Next year, fine. But like a Tiger just said it right in the chat, the NHL is not a development league. Ultimately, it's not a development league. So we're at the point now. Yeah. Will Smith needs to go down to AHL because the bigger problems have arrived. He played 9 minutes today.
Yeah, I think like so Will Smith's been like he kind of like he had that little spot in the season where he kind of looked like he had finally kind of put it together a little bit, right? Like there's obviously there's issues in his game, and we've talked about them at length on multiple shows on this podcast, right? Like he was never going to be Macklin Celebrini. His game doesn't have the same defensive tools that Macklin Celebrini has. But like, yeah, I think like he kind of like he looked like he kind of figured out, because I remember like there was a lot of talk like early in the season about sending him to the Barracuda too, and I still like I am kind of back on that train now, where I wish that they would send him to the Barracuda at this point, because I think one, it would rebuild his confidence, right? And I think and I don't think it's the end of the world. Like I think people like would look at that and be like, oh no, this is terrible, right? But I mean, like Shane Wright played on who I think is a comparable, like they're not identical players, but like
the situation's
very comparable, right? Yeah. Where it's like, he played on a Coachella Valley team that was really good for a couple of years, and now he's finally in the NHL, and I think he's probably better off for it. And I just think Will Smith, if you put him on the Barracuda, I think that he would probably excel there, and I think it would be fine. Like I don't think it's the end of the world. I haven't soured on him as a prospect, because again, I think we talked earlier in the show, I mean, a lot of people were screaming about how William Eklund was this, oh my god, we drafted William Eklund, what have we done, and it's fine now, right? Because he figured it out. It takes time, but William Eklund also spent time with the Barracuda on a much worse Barracuda team. I don't know. It's probably unfortunate, because I think Will Smith's a guy who, I know, like Tiger saying in the chat here, like it's unfortunate that he kind of picked up his game when he did, because I think he's a guy who he doesn't need anything from playing in the World Juniors, but I think like it would have probably helped his confidence a little to go back and play on that Team USA.
Gets him kind of in a different atmosphere, like to refresh the mindset.
Yeah,
I think it would have helped.
Like, and it's unfortunate, because when he kind of figured out his game, it kind of made that not an option, and maybe it was never an option at this point. Like again, the last thing I think the Sharks want is probably to send a guy like Will Smith to World Juniors, risk injury on a team that's not one of theirs. But I don't know, man. Like I'm not worried about Will Smith, because I think that there is a tool set there, and I think he's going to be a player. I just don't think he's a player right now.
I'm not worried about Will Smith. I'm worried about where Will Smith is in the lineup and in the organization.
Sure.
Like being on the fourth line is one thing. Like I just don't think he's an NHLer. I think at the moment, like Ricky actually kind of summed it up. He's not physically ready. His foot speed sucks. He can't win board battles. His physicality is sub NHL. He has no grind. He has no dog in him. Like, and as I mentioned, he turns the puck over all the times. And it's not just like, oh, well, he lost a battle. He just straight up passes it into lanes that have three players in the middle. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, he needs to go down to the AHL, where the game is, it's, I don't know, slower isn't the word I'm looking for, but it's what I'm going to use right now. He can just settle his mind down and help develop his pace that can gradually work its way up from the AHL to the NHL. And I mean, you look at Ethan Cardwell right now. Look, we all love Ethan Cardwell, and he was in the AHL last year. He's fine. He's doing well. William Eklund, you mentioned it, Ian. He had a full year in the AHL. He's doing well in the NHL now. Like,
yeah, I use William Eklund. Like Ethan Cardwell, I like as a player, but I use William Eklund because obviously the draft pedigree is the same,
right?
Like, whereas Ethan Cardwell's, like, I love Ethan Cardwell. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah,
these two players are not the same.
No. But still, like, the AHL is not a death sentence. Going from the NHL to the AHL is not a death sentence, is what I'm trying to get at. This is not 1983. Like,
so kind of going through here, Ricky saying Graft greater than Smith right now. Hell, Cardwell even greater than Smith right now, which I kind of agree, especially on the fourth line. There are better uses of that roster spot that Smith is taking up. And the AHL's more physical play will force Smith into adapting his game.
Yeah,
It's a slower game,
on
but it's a
fire.
slower game, which I think is where the benefit would be.
Yeah.
Because it's easier, like as you increase in levels of hockey, the game gets faster and faster. And the thing that makes it really difficult for younger players is that difference, right? The game in the NHL is light years faster than college hockey, light years faster than junior hockey.
Yes.
And the AHL is still faster than both of those leagues, but it's not as fast.
Yeah, let me try and phrase it a little differently, because the NHL obviously is faster than the AHL. I'm not trying to say the AHL is a slow league, because it's not. It is still very fast and competitive.
Yeah.
Players are afforded the ability to make more mistakes at the AHL level and not be burnt to a crisp over it the way Will Smith has in the NHL. And so that's where he can make those same mistakes and learn and recover from them easier than he is right now in the NHL, being demoted to the fourth line and potentially out of the lineup altogether.
Yeah, because that's like where I'm kind of at the point now where it's like you're expecting. I mean, maybe the Christmas break will do him some good, but at this point, you're kind of expecting the development days to start again. And I mean, I understand the idea behind it, but I still think, like, couldn't you just have a lighter schedule in the AHL and accomplish the same things? I don't know.
Yep.
Well,
After tonight, the Barracuda have a full week off here. So
yeah. Jimmy Chomps Teal asking who should be brought up if we send Smith down. I guess it depends on where the hole in the lineup that creates, right? I think if it's a bottom six guy, it's Ethan Cardwell. Easy.
Yeah.
If you're looking for somebody you want to plug into the top six, although I think Kovalenko being acquired from Colorado's kind of solved that issue for the Sharks. But if you are looking for a guy, I'd probably give Colin Graf another look if you're looking for a top six guy.
Yep, Graf or Gushchin. But I agree. I think Graf has done well. Graf just snapped a 10-game goal streak. But the thing is that I didn't even realize, a goal drought. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even realize that he hadn't scored in 10 games for all the offense he was generating in the beginning of the first 2 months of the season. So, yeah, Graf's been really solid. And Ian, I've heard you on the Sunday night shows talking about Graf, and he has had holes in his game, especially early on, adapting to the pace. What we're talking about with Will Smith, adapting to the pace and making dumb young mistakes and learning from them. And I have noticed them coming less and less here at the last 2-3 weeks. Even if the offense dried up for a bit. So
that's the one, because I think that's the one knock I had against Colin Graf, when a lot of people are like, oh, he's going to be on the team. I'm like, no, he's not. Like, he doesn't think the puck. He doesn't think the game at an NHL level.
Right.
I think he has all the tools. I just don't think he, at least last year when he was forced into the lineup because obviously they signed him, they wanted to play him, they wanted to see what they had. But like, I never thought that he thought the game at an NHL level. I'd like to, like, I think he's done enough on the Barracuda now, obviously, where he's definitely earned the opportunity. Austin Westbrook asking about Thomas Bordeleau. Man, Thomas Bordeleau is like, Thomas Bordeleau.
Well, I mean, we were talking about the top six role. I mean, I have noticed some developments in Thomas Bordeleau's game this season that I didn't really think he progressed last year, guys. Like, I thought he was just more of the same from the year before. But this year, I do feel like he is a better skater. He's certainly more willing to dig into the trenches. He's another player that I think sometimes he does things with the puck on the ice that I go, what are you doing, man? And I think that's what's keeping him from being in the NHL right now. But I do think Bordeleau is more suited for a call-up now than he was at any point last year.
I think the thing with Thomas Bordeleau for me is that Thomas Bordeleau at one point was like the best prospect in the system, and that was a problem.
Sure.
But he was still, you know what I mean? I think he's a guy who had a lot of hype because there was no one else to get hyped about other than, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that, because there was also the discussion about like Bordeleau losing his smile and having to go have meetings with Joe Thornton to build his confidence back up because it wasn't really working out in the NHL. And that might might be a byproduct of him being told, "You're the best prospect that we have," and he's thinking, "Man, I'm the cream of the crop," and then having that hard reality of, it's easy to be the best prospect when your second best prospect is Spangler Cup Brandon Coe. Whoa.
Right. Like, so I think that's I think it's as the prospect has come in, and like I think guys have obviously passed Thomas. I like Thomas Bordeleau. Like, I don't want people to get it twisted. I like Thomas Bordeleau. I just think that people have passed him on the depth chart, and justifiably so, especially when you consider Thomas Bordeleau's age.
Yeah.
Like, there's a certain age group of guys on the Barracuda now where it's like, where players that I liked a lot. I think Tristan Robbins kind of falls into this category too. I think Tristan Robbins has also had injury issues that have kind of stopped his development. But like, the problem is that other guys are starting to come in that are just better, and they're getting passed in the depth chart. I like Bordeleau, but I just think that the Sharks have better options now than they did.
Yeah. And so I would say if you were, obviously positional wise, if you were going to do a call up, it's either Cardwell or Graf, but maybe Bordeleau, because you can maybe put him anywhere at the moment.
Yeah. Bordeleau does have, I think Bordeleau probably does have a little more flexibility. Like, I really like Ethan Cardwell. I think he's gonna, like, I say this all the time. I think Ethan Cardwell is gonna have a really long NHL career when he finally gets in, but he's never going to be more than a bottom six guy. He's going to be a third line guy.
Cardwell is that like 8 goals a year regular season who just comes out and scores 6 in the playoffs, and you go, what?
Right? Yeah.
Just Ethan Cardwell's that guy that just knows how to elevate his game at the right point. And I agree with you. I think he has a long NHL career. Even if on the books he probably shouldn't, but he has the ability to do it.
But I
think Thomas Bordeleau does have like that flexibility. I think Thomas Bordeleau is better suited to, like, if you're going to put him on the second line, I think Thomas Bordeleau is probably a little more suited to that than Ethan Cardwell. But I don't know, at that point though, if you're talking about that position, then why isn't it Colin Graf? Why aren't you calling Gushin? Like, those are the questions. Those are my immediate questions at that point.
Yeah. Puckeye, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, just remember December 21st, 2024, Kevin Lacy saying that Ethan Cardwell will score an overtime winner in the playoffs for the Sharks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he absolutely will.
He's that kind of guy.
He is.
Right. So all right. So let's put a bow on this one. Okay. Wrap it up. Sharks lose 3-2.
Oh, damn it. Thanks for that reminder.
Yeah, I know. Hey, so looking at some of the quotes that have come through social media, Shing said that Warsofsky said that Askarov is a Russian Blackwood.
He better be more than a Russian Blackwood, or this franchise is in horrible amounts of trouble.
Let me specifically pull what Warsofsky called Askarov a Russian Blackwood in terms of personality.
Oh,
okay. That I'll accept.
I think Askarov's got more person. That's the thing. Someone mentioned it earlier, like, good to see he still had a smile on his face at the end of the game. And that's my thing, is that kid oozes so much energy. And it's just, man, if you ever go to a game at TXU Arena, if Askarov ever goes back to the Barracuda and you get to see him win and be one of the stars of the game, man, you have never seen a more entertaining 3 stars of the game that you have when Yaroslav Askarov has been named one of the stars. Like, he is so much fun to watch. And so that's where, like, a game like today, being thrown in the fire against the Oilers, knowing how the team has been performing lately, unable to hold leads and defensively porous, you go, oh no, like, let's hope Askarov doesn't give up a 7 spot here. And he rose to the challenge every bit of the way. And so, because my biggest fear is him getting lit up for 7 and then getting lit up for 5 and then getting lit up for 5. And suddenly that happy-go-lucky Yaroslav Askarov is like, yeah, this sucks, So,
yeah.
So that's a good, on that thought though, because like because you said if he ever goes back, but like I still feel like that's the plan, right? I think that's going to be a hard thing for the Sharks, especially if Askarov gets more games in and plays at this level like he's played so far in the NHL. That's going to be a really tough sell, I think, for Sharks fans, that if they send him back, because obviously Vanacek is going to get healthy at some point. And obviously you have Georgiev on the team. So, I mean, they've got guys that they're content to ride out the year with. I wonder how that's gonna fly because I think that's the thing. Like as soon as Vanacek's ready, I think he goes back down.
Yeah.
It's that's gonna be an interesting one because, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm hoping you guys can teach me here. It'll throw back to Ian's Hockey 101 here, but they have to be on the AHL roster at the trade deadline in order to participate in the Calder Cup playoffs, correct?
They've changed the rule. I don't even understand it anymore. They sort of do, but then the clear day is still the week after 7 days after the trade deadline. So it's like, well, then why are players getting called up and sent back on the NHL trade deadline? It's very confusing.
But it is a paper transaction that they have to do, right? Because obviously a guy like Askarov doesn't have to, won't have to clear waivers for a little bit longer still, obviously.
Yeah.
So I mean, even if they kept him up, like they could send him down. I'm curious to see. Like I think like the Barracuda, obviously they lost yesterday, but it wasn't goaltending. But I'm curious to see. Like
you're talking about the Barracuda
game, yeah.
Oh yeah, Romanov was fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic. I like Georgi Romanov. I think that I think there's enough on this team that they should be able to stay afloat. I mean, they've got quite they've piled up a bunch of points. They'd have to go on a terrible downfall to fall out of the playoffs at this point. I don't know, but I still think, again, it's probably a moot point because I still think once Vanacek is good to go, Askarov's going back to the Barracuda.
Yeah. What the Barracuda do need to work on it here? And folks, the Barracuda will be playing at TechCU Arena against the Oilers affiliate, the Bakersfield Condors, in about 90 minutes or so. I have a ticket to the game, but I'm actually going to chill at home and I'll be watching and tweeting there about it. But I do encourage you to go. As soon as we're off the show here, head out to TechCU Arena and have a good time right before Christmas there. But Aaron Dell will be in net for his return for the team. Everyone's favorite, right? Everyone's favorite okayest goalie, whatever it's called.
Yes, the world's okayest goalie. Actually, he's but like when Gabriel Carrier got called up and kind of surprised me because I wasn't paying attention to Wichita because I'm a bad guy. But I looked to see what like Arundel's numbers were, and they've completely rebounded from what they were when Gabriel Carrier got the initial call up. He's actually Arundel's been very good most recently. So he definitely did deserve the chance to come back. Fascinated to see how it goes. Like how I want to see how this team performs with in an extended period without Askarov, though, because I think that Askarov has, as good as this Barracuda team is this year, Askarov has covered up for some of their, I think, pretty obvious deficiencies.
It definitely has, and that's why I like seeing Romanov have such a brilliant game last night, because I had not realized it until our friend Nick Nolenberger pointed it out on the broadcast, but the Barracuda, as great as they have been, lead the league in shots against.
Yes.
And that's not good. They actually got under the average last night by allowing like 32 shots or something like that. Their average has been 34 shots against per game, which is obviously well over league average.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and I'm sure you're going to run with this, the number one reason for that is when you're on the penalty kill all the time, you're giving up 14 power play shots a game. So And kind of coming back to a question that you were asked on Sunday on Pucknologist, which was, how are we feeling about the coaching with John McCarthy as it turned the corner? And we, I was in the chat and you were on the show, and we were both kind of like, not ready to let him off the hook there. The shots against, that's a big concern, regardless of all the penalties that they give up, because penalties, to me, that's a coaching thing. The amount of shots they give up, that's a coaching thing. With Askarov off the roster for the time being / foreseeable future,
I think the Christmas break is like the only thing that, like, again, they might get off the hook because of the Christmas break.
Yeah, that's true. But have you noticed anything in particular with maybe the transition game or the forwards or anything like that they're lacking in their shot suppression? I haven't really noticed anything, but I was very surprised to hear how many shots per game the team was giving up.
I think for me, like, this is obviously the Sharks, to their credit. The big thing with the Barracuda this year is they brought in the extra guys to help, the Podorelskis, the Carlsons, you know what I mean? Like,
Schultz.
That was the Schultz.
Joey Keane. By the way, congrats on your new contract, Joey Keane. I was the one to announce it because I don't know where that announcement went. Come on, Barracuda social media, but
you know what I mean? Like that was the big thing, because that was the big thing that was always about the Barracuda, was they didn't have the veteran guys to help the younger guys along to kind of even out the thing. And to this year, to their credit, also to the Sharks, when it's been time to call people up, they didn't just be like, okay, well, who's our veteran guy on the Barracuda that, has no shot at an NHL career, but we're going to call him up anyway because goals, I guess.
Hi, Nick Chichak.
Hi, Egazino. Hi. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, maybe that's a little harsh on Egazino, because I think he has potential he could be, but again, like he's not going to be
hit 500 games or something like that a couple days ago. So congrats there, Andrew.
Yeah, like I don't want to make this like I'm dogging on Egazino, because I still like he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but like when you're looking for the next wave, it's not going to come from your tweener NHL AHL guy. And that was the guys that the Sharks always called up. And at least under, I don't know if it's a Warasovsky thing, I don't know if it's coming from higher up, who's getting the call, but like it's been guys like Gushin coming up and getting a look. And so I like that better. And it also leaves the veteran players on the Barracuda, because last year the Barracuda did try to bring in some veteran guys, and then injuries happened and they all immediately got called up.
Carpenter and Bailey spent the whole year with the Sharks. Yeah.
Right. And they never went back. So I think like that, I think that's helped the Barracuda a ton. But as far as like John McCarthy, man, like again, like this is still one of the most penalized teams in the league. And the problem with the AHL Pacific Division is that they only play most of their games in the Pacific Division, except for a couple of things, which makes it really hard to get a feel for how good the team really is.
I want to mention a $5 super chat from Skylar. Either way, go to the CUDA games. They are fun again. You can always see Lacy, and he's a treat to hang out at a game with. I completely agree.
Oh, thanks.
So Kevin, leave now.
I feel bad that I'm not going tonight.
Kevin, just leave right now and just stay on there. We have an app to do the show, so you can just talk to us while you drive your way over.
There we go.
Just saying.
Like, would you agree with that though, Kevin? Like on the Barracuda?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I'm still the team has room to improve. I think I
like they're fun to watch. I don't want to dissuade people from watching the Barracuda. They're fun to watch, but I just think when people ask like, are they one of the best teams in the NHL? I don't know. They only play in the Pacific Division.
That's kind of where I got a little exasperated right there, because I started to say they're a little bit of overachievers, but I don't know. I mean, the way watching them play though, like they deserve to be in the position that they are in.
100%. I just don't know how good they are as in relation to the rest of the AHL.
Yes, exactly that. But especially the Barracuda have played some really strong games today, and sometimes there's that team this season, not today. yet. But then you got your vice, which are the San Diego Gulls. Why can the Barracuda not put up any good performances against the San Diego Gulls?
Brett Hedican doing his job down there.
Yeah, it just happens. But like Bakersfield is just losing. Sorry, Race Fan Rocks. I know you're in the chat. But last night, Bakersfield shut out the Barracuda 2-0. So I really hope that the Barracuda bounce back tonight with a real strong win. Hopefully in front of a strong. Oh no! I just saw the other super chat that just came in.
Michael Molasses with a $2 super chat. He says, "I hate Beasted."
I don't.
Kevin, back to you.
So, leading the charge in that Discord chat that we were talking about was Michael is leading the I hate Beastet banter. Now, I do think that Beastet has things to work on. Again,
sure.
I wasn't a huge fan of him being selected in that draft, but I have actually liked how he's played throughout the season. I know Jules has liked him. I know Ian has liked him as well.
I don't get it. He's like one of my favorite players on the Barracuda.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
My thing is just Beasted and his game-to-game consistency. Sometimes it's not there.
Yeah.
I think he is real good in tight on players. Like he knows how to work in the corners. He's good with his one-on-one moves. But when it comes to making a long pass or taking a shot from distance, that accuracy is way off the mark. And so I think Beasted, his bread and butter is being a defensive center. So while, some of those offensive traits are frustrating, at the end of the day, I don't think his offense is going to get him to the NHL. I think it's going to be how he back checks, how he positions himself, blocking shots, winning faceoffs, things of that nature. And again, as we have said, the NHL is not a development league, but the AHL is. And so I'm okay with a 20-year-old Swede in his first year playing in North America, making mistakes, as long as he learns from them and progresses throughout this season. So right now he's on a little bit of a downturn from how he was at the start, but I think that's to be expected, and we'll see how he picks up after Christmas.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's the jump to pro. It's not only hard like for obviously the speed of the game, and especially going from Europe to North America, different style of game. I think the other thing too is just the grind of it is hard for kids to adjust to as well. Yeah.
But I like what Chris just said. Chris, our buddy Chris in the chat, just said we finally hit the build in the rebuild, and like we're talking about like kind of hitting in that stride to kick off the second half of the season soon. But I mean, the Barracuda are fun. There are players like I know some people said I've never seen Yaroslav Askarov until today. And there's more players like him coming in the Barracuda and in the system in general. Quentin Musty and Sam and whoever the Sharks draft first overall this next year, things like that. So good times are ahead. And I people ask me that at work and outside of work, like at the bars and things like, oh no, a couple more years, whoa baby, it's gonna be awesome. But it's already fun. It's already fun right now.
You can see that tide turning a little bit, which is nice to see. I mean, it's not going to, I mean, if you're expecting playoffs for the Sharks side, I think playoffs should better be expected on the Cuda side. So
100%. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like I said, the slide that they would have to go on would be, I don't know if I'd watch hockey anymore if it happened. I don't know if I can you
knock on wood, Ian, because it's the Cuda. Of course,
I know.
Here's the thing. And I don't want to go down that train, Ian, because what was it, like 5 years ago when the Barracuda were like a dominant first half team and Josef Koronash was an all-star and all that stuff, and then they barely made the playoffs because they lost like 70 games in a row in the second half or something stupid like that. So I mean,
how bad were the other team?
No, like I think the Barracuda have been a lot of fun this year. I'm looking forward to like watching. Like I'm gonna watch the game when it comes on or later. Like the Barracuda are fun, man. Like you should absolutely, if you have the time and the finances to do so, you should 100% be supporting this team. As good as I think as much better as the Sharks have played this year compared to last year. The Barracuda are still way more fun.
Yeah,
because winning is fun.
Yeah, and unlike last year, talking about like Ryan Carpenter being called up and Justin Bailey being called up, and then suddenly the wheels fell off. Like the Barracuda are not one injury or call up away from being a travesty.
100%.
They have depth. Like Brandon Coe, congratulations for what that's worth. Him and Joe Carroll are going to the Spengler Cup, which is a really cool tournament, a really cool opportunity to go play in Switzerland and represent Team Canada. But the Barracuda are going to be just fine without Brandon Coe, and I'm sure the Wichita Thunder will be just fine without Joe Carroll. So,
okay, I'm glad you brought this up because I was going to bug you guys about this. How is Brandon Coe able to play in the Spengler Cup? Because this is new to me. I mean, usually I've seen like retired players and, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no. AHL players are. I'm trying to think of who the last representative was. But
Islanders?
So I do remember several years ago, Drew McIntyre, who was the goaltender for the Charlotte Checkers at the time, not the WWE wrestler. He left the team to go play in the Spengler Cup. So
there was an AHL team in the Spengler Cup not too long ago. An AHL team actually went and played in it. I can't remember. I think it was the Islanders affiliate, but I can't remember.
Man, was that during the pandemic that they had
before the pandemic? I want to say
that could be because not every team participated during the pandemic. I mean, participated in the AHL during the pandemic, so I could see that being a thing. But yeah, no, players are still definitely granted the ability to lead their AHL clubs or professional clubs and head overseas to participate there. So yeah, it's like just like a leave of absence kind of thing. So, but I think, you know, I've been asked both on Twitter and in Discord about Brandon Coe's future with the team, and I have been saying for a while, like I don't think there is any future with the team. Like I fully expect him to be traded or just not signed in the offseason, depending on how things go. But the fact that he has been a healthy scratch. He played last night, and I believe he is in the lineup tonight, but he leaves on Monday for Davos. So he'll be off the roster at that point. But he's barely cracking the lineup right now. And it's what Ian said with Thomas Bordeleau. The pieces are in place right now that the former top prospects are now being overshadowed and kind of in the roles that they should have been in to begin with. And so Brandon Coe being kind of just an AHL depth player, you know, if he doesn't want to be an AHL depth player, he needs to bring more to the ice, because I know I said it on shows last season, like, where's the physicality? Where's the drive to the net? Like last season, he had, what do you have, 12 goals or whatever, but I felt like 9 of them were his teammates doing all the work. Like Brandon Coe's just not a driver of offense, unfortunately. And he did have potential when the Sharks drafted him. But like most of the prospects during that regime, it hasn't worked out. I feel like Robbins is like the only holdout who actually has shown much of anything.
So I figured it was in 2013. It was
actually
the Rochester Americans. I know. I was like, it's one of those things where like, oh, it was just not too long ago, but it was in 2013. The Rochester Americans went and played in the Spengler Cup.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Want to shout out Voodoo Vegas. Hi guys, I watched live from the south coast of England tonight.
Awesome.
Shame about the loss, but great to see the guys fighting. Also great to see a live game tonight. Normally the time difference is awful. Yeah, no, I can only test.
I am a guy who whines because these games are on at 10 o'clock at night. I cannot imagine overseas.
Yeah, that means he would have gotten to watch this game at like 8 or 9 p.m.
Perfect.
Yeah, so great. Yeah,
after a night out on the town in England. Cheers. Hope you had fun.
Cheers. Yes. How do you think I'm here? I finally made a Teal Town After Dark because the game started at 1 o'clock.
All right, this just in. How many afternoon games do we have left in the season? Just no, I'm just kidding.
Joel said the same thing when we were talking about.
Well, actually, Saturday the 4th at 1 p.m. against the Devils. Okay.
I'll be at the Barracuda game for sure.
Oh, of course, sure. Get in the way again. No, but good stuff, Kevin. Great to have you back on here. We've missed you. I mean, and honestly, we're kind of getting close to the 10-year anniversary of the whole live podcasting going on. So you've been a part of that for many years. It's good to see you. Great to have you, and thank you for what you've done over the years. And here's some more down the road.
Thanks. And since Michael mentioned Cagnoni in the chat, I just want to say happy 20th birthday. So there's another reason to go to the Barracuda game tonight.
Yes.
Again, I'm not, but go wish Luca Cagnoni a happy birthday.
And he better have a 4-point night.
Go watch him play.
Yes.
And watch him play too. He's brilliant. I love watching him.
And if anybody can let me know if they have the black jerseys back in stock yet, that'd be great.
Oh, I'm so sorry, folks. Like, not that it's my fault or anything.
How dare you?
It's like, how dare you?
How dare you not sew another jersey, Kevin? Jeez, that's where you've been the whole time.
It is baffling to me that they don't have those black jerseys in stock. And my understanding is this is not a fault of the store or the Sharks or anything like that. My understanding is CCM made a few jerseys, shipped them out, and just didn't make any more. Now, I might be off base here, but that's my understanding. AHL shop doesn't sell these, and the Shark shop and the Barracuda shop doesn't sell them. And I go to these games and I see half a dozen people get turned away. Hey, do you have that black jersey? No. Do you have the black jersey? No. Like, this is lost revenue for the team and for CCM. Like, what is happening?
I'm going to make
more jerseys. They're amazing. Right I am very fortunate to have one, but man, I'm in the minority.
That's it. I'm doing it. I'm going to make a CCM sucks account.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
And on that note, in case you missed anything or you want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or wherever you get your podcasts on the audio side. You check us out on Apple, YouTube podcasts, YouTube Music, I should say, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeart, Odyssey. Of course, if you're watching us on the YouTube channel, please leave a comment down below on what you thought of tonight's game and the show. Of course, make sure you hit that like button on the way out. It does help us out big time.
You should hit that like button on the way in, people. That's how this helps. That's how this works.
What he said. So,
yeah.
Kevin, thank you very much. You still can make it to the game. I'm just putting that out there. Your final thoughts before you get out of here.
All right. My final thoughts. First off, condolences to the family of Ricky Henderson.
Yes.
I am a fan, but very sad to see that Ricky Henderson passed away earlier today at 65 years old. I've long said, like, I have nothing but respect for Oakland A's pitcher Dave Stewart, probably the player I respect most from that organization, until thinking about it today. And I realized, oh no, Ricky Henderson, that's the player I truly like. He's incredible, up and down that organization as a player and a coach, and the field was named after him. And so just want to wish my condolences and thoughts to his family.
Still
and then a little bit of
leader in bases stolen. Still,
yep,
yeah,
that one's probably not getting
the man of steel. So, a chat wrap up real quick. Ricky asking, do you think Beastek gets a called up at the deadline after Sturm is traded? I did actually want to talk. We'll cut it short, but I did think about Nico Sturm possibly being traded this year because I think he still has another year left on his deal. But I thought it was weird. He played less than 6 minutes tonight. Like today, I almost made it through the show tonight. Darn it. I don't know what happened there, but 5:41 of ice time for Nico Sturm. And then there was another one here. I lost the other one, but anyway, so I'm just gonna say happy birthday, Puck Guy, because that's coming up in a few days. So
yeah.
I'm
Another
at
year
Kevin
older.
Lacy 22 on Twitter. Since this has been my only appearance on the show this year, I don't know when the next one will be, but you can certainly follow me on Twitter, and I'll get back at you. So thank you very much for having me on.
Appreciate to have you on, Kevin. Nico Sturm is in his final year of a 3-year deal at $2 million, and of course, no. Why can't I think of the name of it?
Trade protection.
No trade protection, but also we
No
can't say we can't take on his contract to send him off to another team, and I cannot.
No retention. He makes $2 million. Give me a fucking break.
I'm just saying. Okay. Speaking of what you're saying, Ian, your final thoughts before we get out of here.
When the Sharks do good, it's good, but this wasn't good.
This wasn't good at all.
When Askarov does good, it's good. There you go.
There you go. And shout out to his backup mask.
Why did he wear that?
Sorry, as I just slam a beer right in your face. I wanted you to bring that up, Ian, in your final thought.
I completely. You know what? We went so many places that I completely forgot. This mask is so fucking much better than the other one.
It's like Ryan Hayward vibes, and
I love it.
Where did this come from? That mask is cool.
Why are you not wearing this all the time?
I don't know if it was supposed to be happening later or something, and because is this mask
the
broke?
Black sweater mask? Maybe
no, it doesn't look like it because
I don't know, man. Like
I don't know. But
I don't know. Like Sharks goalies need to get their mask game back on point.
Please tell me that was Blackwood's new mask he was about to debut before he got traded.
My God, he just
like, hey, we just have this thing laying around.
Oh, man,
it'll be $3,000 at the equipment sale.
Yeah, no doubt.
That mask is great though. Like I don't know why are we not like the Sharks need to get their mask game back on point.
I completely agree, Ian. So that'll do it for us. We should say, let me clear this off. Pucknologist tomorrow night, 7 p.m. on the
maybe
YouTube
it
channel.
is Georgiev's mask. That would maybe Georgiev has a new mask.
I think Georgiev. I think that what he has now is his mask
because he knows he's not staying long. He's like, yeah, I'm going to finish the year, and then I'm going to the K.
Too.
Fuck this. I ain't spending money.
But I think Georgiev had the same mask with Avalanche, so I think this is just a Sharks version. Like
that's a quick turnaround, and that'd be awesome. I know that the one that he's been wearing, that's a wrap. You know how you can wrap cars?
Yeah,
that's a wrap on his mask because Kakinen. And I want to say somebody else, and I can't remember over the last few years, had the similar look.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, because I remember when AJ asked me, I'm like, I feel like I've seen this before, but I don't have the receipts. Yeah,
definitely. So, all right. So, again, tomorrow night, Pucknologist at 7 p.m. And if Kevin's bored later tonight, Barracuda after. No.
Oh God, I don't think I got.
I just saw both of these guys just cringe just now. So
I mean, the thoughts will be in my head. I just don't. That's why I say I'm on Twitter. You can chat with me about the game.
There you go. Until then, thanks for watching. Keep it real. Keep it teal. Keep it real, teal. Have a great night, everyone.